Well, hello, my name's Robert Parkinson and I am the owner of SatisfiedSleepers.com, which is a blog with lots of helpful information about the short-term rental business to help you make more money with less stress and enjoy it more, which is important, I think. Site in a Box is a product we have developed, partly because I'm a web developer myself, and I have a team of people that help me with this, and we just produce bespoke websites for owners of short-term rental accommodation, small hotels and that sort of thing. This video is a short informational video. It's on email 2. You'll have received one yesterday, and today you'll have received this video as well as a PDF file with some hints and tips about the design of your website. So this video is broken down into a number of different sections. Firstly, we're going to talk about why having a website can push you forward, why a domain name is important and can get you noticed, the basics of site design, a walk through some great sites and a walk through some not so great sites, and then the next steps to follow. Let's just consider for a moment why having a website is important and where the opportunity is. If I just take you to Google Maps, okay? I live in Maidstone in Kent in the southeast, so let's just search on Google Maps. These are all short-term rental apartments. This one, this is a lettings agency, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, oh no, maybe that's not, no. This one, this is mine, and so on. And I would say 2/3 of the listings there don't have their own websites. What does this mean? This very simply means that people are effectively leaving money on the table, because you get a lot of people who will go on to Booking.com, but then they'll want to look back on and do a Google search of a business. Let's say someone's found my business on Booking.com. Now, if they Google me, there we are, St Andrews Apartments in Maidstone. The first things first is this is because I'm logged in that we get all of this. The first thing is we get a website address. So if someone doesn't want to book through a booking agent, they can call us. If we just click through to our web address, we've got a phone number prominently displayed, a call to action, book now, and the most important thing is pictures of the property that is in question. So it's really, really important to have that information there. The other thing that is important about having a domain is you can also register for what's called Google My Business, and this helps with SEO tremendously. Because if you Google the same search, St Andrews Apartments Maidstone, you have all of these helpful things here. Let me give you some examples. It gives you basic information about your property. You can look at reviews. Now, if you notice here, if you were to see this property and click on the reviews, it also combines reviews from Booking.com, Hotels.com, Expedia, as well as any Google reviews all together, and that's incredibly helpful for your SEO, but just for the general presence of your property on a website, and for boosting your rankings in the online travel agencies. So if we get on to topic number 2, which is why have a name for your business. There's a number of reasons that it's important. If you have your own domain name, you can, as I've said, register for Google My Business, and this means, there we go, drive customer engagement on Google. This means that you will then show up in Google Maps, St Andrews Apartments Maidstone. Okay, so this is what a user would see who's not logged in. So that you have a whole piece of real estate on the screen there, and it all adds to credibility for your business. And this also, it has two effects. So because you've got reviews from different sources, Booking.com, TripAdvisor, Expedia, and so on, that feeds into Google. So Google ranks you more highly. But also because you've got a lot of noise and you've got your own site, that means the OTAs by themselves rank you more highly, because they want to rank highly properties that are going to be booked, because that's how they make their money. So it's really a really important thing to have. And of course, if I haven't mentioned this already, I can't remember if I have or not, apologies for that, it means people can call you direct and book direct. So it's very, very important. We get over 50% of our bookings are direct bookings. Direct bookings mean you can control the bookings. If you need to cancel a booking for a good reason, only cancel for good reasons, you can. Whereas, with Airbnb and stuff, you have a black mark against your name, and it just makes life really, really difficult. So, moving on to the next section, we're going to talk about the basics of site design and start with page structure. Firstly, it's really important to say that with the design of any website, the mobile, and in this case, the tablet versions of your site look the best. And the reason for that is this. These days, I think over 70% of web traffic is on a mobile device. That's a fairly well-known fact. So, if your site doesn't look good on mobile, that's a problem for you. But also, if you think about it, if the last time you were sat down with your family or with friends or whatever, looking at booking a holiday or booking a hotel, the chances are pretty high that you did that on a tablet rather than sitting down in front of a desktop computer. You're on the couch, relaxing, looking at things on a tablet. So your site's got to look good on a tablet. So this site here, I don't think it looks fantastic, but it looks pretty good. It looks pretty okay. Let me just move the screen a bit so you can see the full. There we go. So you've got a very nice image above the fold. You've got good contact information, good links to contact. You've got a call to action, which is really, really important. And it's just generally a nice, modern-looking, clean website. To explain a few specific things, should we look at another site just to get some comparison? So this is Presidential Apartments in London. Here we have, again, nice pictures, or reasonably nice pictures, very clear menu structure with what they offer, how to get around the site, the neighbourhood, and so on. Logo's a little small. I can't really see that even on a large screen. It says Presidential Service Departments. But the key point is all of this information here that you can see on the screen now. This is called the above the fold. Okay, if you can imagine a broadsheet newspaper, they come like the Sunday Times or the Telegraph, or whatever. They come folded over. So above the fold means in web speak means the information you can see if the newspaper was folded over. It's the information that first loads, and this is your prime real estate in terms of online what you put on your website. So of course it should have attractive pictures. Pictures are a major source of getting people to book. It should have either a booking form, and this site, as you can see here at the bottom, does have a booking form, or simply the telephone number and an email address and a contact us call to action. Other things you might like to put on the above the fold section include any awards that you've won. On TripAdvisor do awards, Booking.com, we've got some awards from them. That's key real estate to put in the above the fold section. Now, I don't think this site has it, actually. But what I would put in my website, let's see if I can find you an example of. Here we go. So in this website here, very soon below the fold, in other words, when you start to scroll down, you see reviews. And in internet speak, this is called social proof. Social proof is incredibly important. This is why sites like Trustpilot exist, because people want to see and be able to trust something that they're not aware of or is new to them. And the easiest and best way to do that is verified reviews from other people. So having those linked to your website, or just pasting them onto your website, or having a link out to your TripAdvisor page or your Booking.com reviews page, that's very, very, very powerful. Okay, and you would want to have that immediately, in my opinion, immediately below the fold. And then other information, services that you provide. If I can show you our example, so we've got 3 of our main apartments there, and then our amenities that we provide. Again, in keeping the colour theme consistent, parking, Wi-Fi, all of this stuff. A map is really important. It sounds basic, right? But a map is important. People need to know how to find you and get to you, and if your location suits you. And this is one drawback of Airbnb, because it's not absolutely possible to see immediately on Airbnb where a property is, which I think is a bit of a flaw with the platform. So a map is useful. Here's another good example of a very nice looking website. I mean, this looks like a site which is modern, up to date. It shows you clearly the space that you'll be getting. Clearly it's high end, but you can make anything look high end actually if you have good pictures. And it makes you want to book it. Let's give you some other examples. Okay, here's an example of something which is certainly a short-term rental. I don't love the design of this website, in absolute honesty. This sort of side of things could be a little bit neater, but what they have got is the key information. They've got the telephone number so you can book easily. They've got quite a quirky but nice logo there, and most importantly, they've got really good photographs on there, very prominently displayed, and that shows you all of the features. Like there's a tub there, there's pictures of the outside. This looks nice. So these are all good examples of tips of how to design a site. One thing I would say though is that there's a definite trend towards one-page sites. A lot of the information is on the main page, and then you can click through to other parts of the site if you really need to. But ideally, people like to flick down with their phone or their tablet and try and keep it on one page, because that just seems to work better these days and give the user a good experience. So social proof, reviews, further details and information on the specifics of each property or each unit. You can see this: sleeps 16, sleeps 3, sleeps 13. It gives you, the user more specific information. If I look at my site, we give really detailed information about all the things and all the facilities that people can expect. And so that's important stuff to have on your page below the fold. It's also worth adding that links don't have to be to different pages. You can link to the same or a different section on the same page by what are called jump links, the technical term. But anyway, it means you could, for example, click a button and it will take you all the way down to here, for example. The second thing element of the design process is about the actual visual appeal of the site. Now, I've showed you a number of sites here. Let's just get rid of some of this. I've showed you some sites here which I think are nice sites, and let's get a few more up here. You'll get all of this emailed to you, but this is a particularly nice one. It's got all the information there, call to action, gorgeous picture, looks really good, details, more pictures, location, contact details, which are really key. There's a few points though to cover when it comes to design. The first thing to understand is that your design is not necessarily going to be your guest's ideal design or the ideal design to attract guests. That's point number one, and important to understand. So one of the things we always suggest that clients do is send a list of sort of websites you might like to copy effectively or use elements of. Send them to other people, and this will give them an idea to say, I like this one, or I like this one, or ask them to choose their 2 favourite designs, because they might not be the same as yours. And it's the same with us. If there's a design that I think looks great, it might not be a design you think looks great too. Although we can certainly help, and we do work together on this matter. So that's a critical thing to keep in mind. The second thing is your style of your website. If we just go back for a second and look at my website, so you can see here, if you see this picture here, the hero image it's called. This is the building, and this is why we've chosen these sorts of colours and this sort of font, because it's a listed building. These may not be fonts and colours you would choose for a funky city style apartment or a country cottage apartment. So you kind of got to pick your fonts, colours, images and so on, and general design and style to suit your property. It's got to be consistent, and of course we will help with that. That's one of the reasons we like to see people's listings. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and it sounds simple because it is, but actually keep it simple. The only moving parts you really need on a page are images, and you do want people to see images as much as possible, because again, images sell, but you don't really want lots of other clever, it's called JavaScript in IT language, but clever sort of moving parts on a page. The more code that your website has, the more complicated code and clever moving parts that your site has, the slower that your site will load. That's just because it has more code to download, and you want a really fast loading site. Amazon did an analysis of their own website, or one of their websites, and they found that by increasing the load time, decreasing the load time by 2 seconds, they had an uptick of something like 20% in terms of conversions, and that's huge. That's a huge increase in conversions. So your site wants to load fast. You can have a perfectly nice looking website which is pretty simple, just nicely designed with good pictures, good colours, good use of borders and images, but it loads fast and is functional, and it does what it should do. So the one thing I should have added on in terms of the functionality of the website is it must have contact forms. Ideally a booking engine, but I appreciate that's difficult for some people to do. But you must always have a contact form in multiple ways. If people don't call you, have an email address. If they don't email you, have a contact form that people can fill out to submit inquiries. You've got to make yourself as accessible as possible. Other sites have things like chat bots or messenger bots, which again I think are quite cool. And although they do use a lot of code, they're a nice way of engaging with people. You don't have to be sat behind a screen the whole time monitoring who's engaging with that, as I'm sure you've experienced. You know, you can just leave your contact details, and it's the contact details you want to gain those really, really valuable direct bookings. Remember, every direct booking is 15 to 20% more profit. So for what you've signed up for Site in a Box, we also will design a logo for you for no extra charge if you wish. Same principle really, keep it simple, keep it consistent with the property style and your property's name. That's very important. So if you'd like us to do that, we'll be happy to do that. And then in terms of your name of your property and your domain name, and I'll put a link in the description on this video to a place you can buy a domain name. And actually, I believe they're hosting. We include hosting in our plan, but if you want your own hosting, some people prefer that because of, you know, it keeps the email secure and stuff. If you want your own hosting, I can give you a link to a great web host. There's loads out there. Some are rubbish, some are great, and they will offer you a free domain name, I believe, in their package. So I'll have a look at that link in the video as well. But yeah, I mean, your name really your domain name has got to be the name of your property. So, for example, if you were naming your property something like St George's Apartments, for example, I think those types of names do well. Or, you know, anything which adds a bit of class. You know, St George's Cottages, St Andrew's Apartments. I think those types of names tend to sound, you know, quite classic. If we have a look back to Apartments Maidstone, you know, we've got names here. This one, the Rhinos. What does that mean? You know, I'm not sure about that. Serviced Apartments. I'm not sure of the meaning of that. Allyn Place. Does that really sound classy? I'm not sure. Downton Court. You know, we found that very simple St Andrew's Apartments was effective, but try and get as broad a match domain name as possible. So what that means is a broad match domain name means that if you're, for example, going to call your property St George's Cottages, it should be St George's and then cottages.co.uk. Don't have a .com because unless you are literally international. If it's in the UK, have a .co.uk. If that's not available, you could go to stgeorges-cottages.co.uk, or you could even go to stgeorges-cottages-yorkshire.co.uk. But try and keep the basic brand name that you have within your domain name. That's really important for SEO and optimizing your property. So next steps. If you haven't already done so, please do email us your listing so we can have a look at it. It really helps that remember we're hosts ourselves, we're property owners ourselves, so it helps us to get inside and understand your property. Really, really important. Do have a look at the list of sites that we will email you. We've got quite a selection there of nice looking sites. We can use any of these sites as a template, or if there's another website you prefer to use as a template, please just let us know and we'll use that, no problem. But we do need your feedback. This is your website, so we do need your feedback, of course, on how you'd like your site to look. We can tweak it, of course, and make changes, but the basic design is something we need to understand and agree on. And it's also worth mentioning that our 7-day delivery does start from the point in time when we've received all of the information that we need to from you. So if you help to do that, that would be great. So check out the designs we've sent you. Tomorrow you'll receive another email with a very simple form for giving us guidance on what you would like your homepage to say, whether you'd like any additional pages, and how you'd like your site to work. So you'll get that tomorrow, and then we can get that going straight away. If you have any questions, please just drop me an email. That's the simplest thing. You can email either robert@satisfiedsleepers.com or sites@satisfiedsleepers.com, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions, no problem at all. Also, if you're watching this, well, as you are watching this on YouTube, it's worth subscribing to our YouTube channel. We put out videos from time to time based on our blog posts with lots of tips on, again, less stress, more money with short-term rentals. I hope you found this useful. If you have, I mean, do give it a quick like if you would. Although this is an unlisted video, do give it a like to let me know if it's any good or not. If there's anything else you think we could add into the video, please also do let me know. One final thing, let's just have a look at some sites which I don't think look that great, so we can see what other people are doing out there. Okay, so we've got some examples of other websites here in the tourism space or the short-term rental space. I mean, this website looks like it was designed in the 1990s. They do have the contact information on there, but if you can imagine a makeover of this site, with some great images and a much more professional approach, can you imagine the uptick in bookings they would get? And indeed, they have got all of these TripAdvisor awards and Booking.com awards, but they're not making the best of their online real estate, which is a great shame. So we've got this one here. To me, there's a lot of information on here. We have got a phone number and an inquiry and all the rest of it, but it's kind of muddled, and you've got this weird sort of brown bit at the side like it's on a table. Some information on there, so I'd give that, I guess, a 3 out of 5. That one isn't, it is working now, okay. This one, again, it's not terrible, but the design looks probably 10 years out of date. And this sort of thing is it's confusing because you click on the image and nothing happens. The text is not very well formatted, and can you imagine how easy it would be to get these sites looking good? This site is I just happen to know that these sites are the sites produced by a channel manager, and again, it's so basic. It could be so much more, and a website has to be so much more to be competitive these days. I mean, look at this. It looks a horrible house, doesn't it? Either tidy it up and make it look a bit more inviting, or don't put an image like that on there. They've got some great images here. Why not have that as your hero image? Hero image is the image at the very first image on the site. That's much nicer. That's quite nice, but again, it's a fairly basic site. So these are These are some ones that are not so good. And then once again, you will receive this information together with links to the websites that you can browse through, along with this email. But I would also say you're not limited at all to the examples that we've given you. We will create a site from any design you send to us, because we want you to be really happy with this, because then you'll refer us to all your friends. We hope. Anyway, any questions, drop me a line. Thanks for watching.